Hello, good morning, students. I hope you all are good. Please let me know. आपको आवाज आ रही है या नहीं आ रही है मुझे बता दीजिए so that we can start our today's session. In previous sessions we had already discussed the solar energy, wind energy. Basically we are discussing non-conventional type of energy sources, and in the same light, in the same pattern, now we are going to discuss today energy from the sea. तो जैसा कि हम लोगों को पहले ही पता है दैट एवरी नेचुरल सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी इज अ वेरी गुड काइंड ऑफ सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी. उसमें कोई स्मोक नहीं है, देयर इज नो रेजिडुअल, एंड दैट कैन बी ट्रीटेड एज अ सब्स्टिट्यूट फॉर आवर फॉसिल फ्यूल. उन फॉसिल फ्यूल के लिए एक अच्छा सब्स्टिट्यूट हो सकता है. सो उसी लाइट में, इन द सेम लाइट, टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस एनर्जी फ्रॉम द सी. So as we know that the seas and the oceans and other water bodies are a source of kinetic and potential energy due to the immense volume of water and the motion of waves. We know that in ocean there is a high tide, low tide, and sometimes tsunami waves is one of the biggest or what should I say, that the plenty of kinetic energy these type of waves have. So if we able to harness this much amount of kinetic energy into some other sort of energy, then definitely we can use the energy from the sea or oceans. So this is the same topic which we are going to discuss today. So first we will discuss about the tidal energy. So as you know that high tides and low tides, these tidal activities is just because of the gravitational pull अप्लाई बाय द मून. सो इसीलिए जो फुल मून नाइट्स होती हैं उसमें टाइड्स ज्यादा हाई होते हैं. सो टाइड्स आर वेरिएशन इन द लेवल ऑफ वाटर ड्यू टू द ग्रेविटेशनल पुल ऑफ द मून. द फिनोमेना ऑफ राइज एंड फॉल ऑफ द वाटर लेवल और हाई एंड लो टाइड्स and the difference in sea level gives tidal energy. So basically इस high tide और low tide से tidal energy generate होती है, and that tidal energy is a kind of kinetic energy. That is a kind of kinetic energy we have. So what we do, बिल्कुल सिमिलर प्रोसेस है जैसे कि हम लोग विंड एनर्जी के लिए कर रहे थे. विंड मिल लगाई थी, इसीलिए हम लोग ओशियन मिल्स लगाते हैं, टाइडल मिल लगाते हैं. इन द सेम वे भाई उसमें क्या था कि विंड एनर्जी मींस व्हेन द विंड इज ब्लोइंग मोर देन 15 किलोमीटर पर आवर स्पीड, तो वो विंड उस विंड मिल के टरबाइन ब्लेड से टकराती थी. वो जो टरबाइन ब्लेड्स थे वो रोटेट होते थे, टरबाइन ब्लेड से जुड़ी होती थी जनरेटर की शाफ्ट, और इस तरह हमें इलेक्ट्रिक सोर्स, इलेक्ट्रिक एनर्जी मिल जाती थी. बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से इफ द टाइडल एनर्जी गिव्स सच अ लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ काइनेटिक एनर्जी, तो अगर उन टाइड्स को भी हम किसी प्रोपेलर से गुजारें, इफ वी install some propellers in the way of tides, in the way of high tide and low tide, in the way of tidal energy, then definitely those propeller will harness the kinetic energy and convert it into electrical energy. So the tidal energy is obtained by constructing a dam near a narrow opening of the sea. When the tide sets in, it moves the turbine which directly produces electricity. It is limited to place near the sea. This is the point which we have to understand, that there are very limited places where we can install the tidal energy, because only where the very narrow opening of sea is present. Because जब हाई टाइड्स आता है तो बहुत तेजी से वाटर इस नैरो एरिया में एंटर होगा और फिर वो वापस बैक थ्रू होता है. सो इसी प्रोसेस के दौरान यहाँ पर अगर कोई प्रोपेलर है तो वो रोटेट होगा. So basically there are very limited places where we can install the tidal energy plant. Now we will see that how it looks like. So this is look like this. As you can see, we have two pictures here. Like these are the propellers in the way of tides. और जैसे कि विंड मिल, एक विंड मिल नहीं लगाई जाती है क्योंकि बिकॉज अ सिंगल विंड मिल विल नॉट गिव यू द इनफ सफिशिएंट एनर्जी. सो वी इंस्टॉल्ड अ ग्रुप ऑफ विंड मिल्स. बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से सिमिलरली वी इंस्टॉल्ड a complete plant of tidal energy propellers which can harness the kinetic energy coming from the tides. So this kind of system we installed. इसमें भी वही process है कि जब propeller घूमेंगे तो electricity बनेगी, and of course we have to also arrange a storage facility to store the generated electricity, and then electricity should be transferred to the power houses. तो इसका काम बिल्कुल वैसा ही है जैसा कि विंड मिल का काम है, बस the main difference is that windmill is operated on a wind kinetic energy, and this tidal plant is based on the tidal kinetic energy, that is high tides and low tides. I hope you are getting my point. If you are getting my point, then please give me CC in the chat box so that we can move further. Please let me know in the chat box. If is this clear, then please let me know in the chat box. Okay. Well, now moving to the next part. The next is wave energy, because ocean is not only about high tide and low tide. Ocean also generate a very plenty amount of waves. So tsunami waves, and sometimes a regular wave is also coming through. We can see in the different parts of the oceans. So yes, we can use that wave energy also. So the example of that wave energy is called ocean thermal energy. So let's see. This is a kind of wave energy we have. So wave energy means a wave process a lot of kinetic energy that can be harnessed to produce electricity. Wave are generated by strong winds blowing across the sea. So that is also a kind of energy we can generate it from the sea. Now the important thing is, which is very quite discussing in the present time, that is ocean thermal energy. As you know that below the surface of ocean there is a earth core present, and in earth core there is a molten magma at a very high temperature is flowing beneath the earth's core. So it means what we have here, that suppose this is a ocean layer of this is a water, and below the ocean there is a quite hot magma. There is a quite hot, red hot magma flowing below the surface of ocean or sea. So what happened that when due to some tectonic plates motion, if there will be any crack between these two layers, between this interface, then automatically the water will become very hot over here, and due to this a large amount of vapor created, and that is basically ammonia also releases. So the difference in temperature of water at certain depth in ocean can be exploited to obtain energy. So the temperature difference must be 20 degrees centigrade between the surface and the water up to depth of 22 kilometers. So the warm water is used to boil the violet ammonia to form vapors, and then when those compressed high pressure vapors is moved to allowed to fall on the turbine, then turbine blades rotated and the electricity generated. But this whole process combined produce so much heat energy, so much thermal effect. So to reduce that hotness, to reduce that thermal effect, we also supply a cold water to condense the vapor back to liquid. So this is the kind of ocean thermal energy we have, and the plant of it is just look like this. This is an example of ocean thermal energy power plant, because suppose this is a warm sewer, this is a warm sewer, this is the warm sewer, water coming through it, and this is allowed to fall on turbine. This is allowed to fall on turbine, and then electricity generated. But in this whole process, the water coming to the turbine in the form of vapor, they condense. So we collect them to the condenser, through the condenser and cold water sewer. So we can feed back this residual condensed water to again the warm water sewer, so that we can generate more electricity. So this whole cycle is going on in order to compliancing of ocean thermal energy power plant. This is kind of power plant we used in ocean thermal energy. In our Vishakhapatnam, Chennai, and in Mumbai port, there are some areas where the ocean thermal energy power plant are ready to use. So this is a good kind of substitute in order to make our environment more healthy, more fresh, and pollution free. So this we can use. This is a very good kind of source of energy, but also there is some limitations also, because if anyhow the warm water sewer is closed, then you cannot make the electricity. And in case of tidal energy, suppose if high tides and low tides are not present in the normal circumstances, in then the energy cannot be produced. So yes, they have some limitations, but apart from all these limitations, our work is to carry over the limitations, to move over the limitations, and pick up the good points and the advantages of any particular energy source power plant. I hope you are understanding this. If it is clear to you, then please give me CC in the chat box so that we can move ahead. Okay. Now the another important thing is geothermal energy. Geothermal energy and ocean thermal energy are very quite similar to each other, because in case of geothermal energy, we also use the same principle which we had used in ocean thermal energy. In ocean thermal energy, we search we search some kind of place in ocean where the difference between the temperature of ocean water and the magma is very close to each other, and then हम वहां से energy लेते हैं. Similarly, in case of thermal energy also, geothermal energy also, we used to find such a place where warm water geysers are present. आपने देखा होगा अक्सर पहाड़ी इलाकों में कुछ जगह ऐसी होती है जहां पर गर्म पानी के नेचुरल सोर्सेस हैं. सो दैट सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी आर काइंड ऑफ जियोथर्मल एनर्जी. तो बेसिकली वहां पर होता क्या है कि पानी के सोर्स के ठीक नीचे काफी गर्म मैग्मा होता है, और उस मैग्मे के टेम्परेचर के कारण जो वाटर है, जो वाटर सोर्स है, वो बॉयल होता रहता है, वो गर्म होता रहता है. तो गर्म होने की वजह से वो ऑटोमेटिकली वेपर जनरेट करता है. तो हमारा काम कुछ नहीं है जियोथर्मल एनर्जी में. वी जस्ट स्टोर दैट वेपर इन द वेपर फॉर्म, एंड एट अ हाई प्रेशर वी अलाउ टू फॉल ऑन द टर्बाइंस एंड वी जनरेट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. तो जो गर्म करने की प्रोसेस थी भाई, हम जो हमारा थर्मल पावर प्लांट था, कोल पावर प्लांट, उसमें हम क्या करते थे भाई, कोल जलाकर, कोयले को जलाकर पानी ही तो गर्म कर रहे थे, वेपर ही तो बना रहे थे. और यहां पर हमारा वेपर बनाने का काम अर्थ ने खुद कर दिया. सो दैट्स वाई जियोथर्मल एनर्जी आर फार बेटर देन एनी थर्मल पावर प्लांट. लेकिन जियोथर्मल एनर्जी की प्रॉब्लम यह है कि हर देश में वाटर गीजर्स हों ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है. तो हर जगह इस चीज को इंस्टॉल करना उतना प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाता. हर देश में ना तो वाटर गीजर्स अवेलेबल हैं और ना ही इस टाइप की सिचुएशन है कि वो जियो थर्मल एनर्जी का यूज कर सकें. तो इसमें जो बेसिक प्रोसेस है वो कुछ इसी तरह की होती है. आप यहां देखें, जैसे सपोज इफ यू सी हियर, suppose if you see here that in this case, in this, if you see this picture, just a minute, see in this picture, here we have a hot molten magma. This is a hot molten magma and this is a hot water. So vapor or steam, whatever is, steam is taking over here and supplied to the turbine, and then we generate the electricity, and rest of the cooled water or condensed water supplied again to the surface of the earth, again to the underground water supply. So this is a whole complete cycle of geothermal energy we have. So this kind of energy we can use, and this is a very good kind of source of energy. यहाँ तक सबको क्लियर समझ में आ गया है? देन प्लीज स्टूडेंट टेल मी इन द चैट बॉक्स. Give me CC in the chat box if is it clear to you. Yes. Is it clear to you, students? Please let me know. Okay. Okay, so student, in the next session, we will learn about nuclear energy and atomic energy. We will also learn about the nuclear fission and fusion, and then we will able to complete this chapter. So there's maybe one or two session we will more take to complete this chapter, and then we will move on to our chemistry part. I hope that at this till point that everything is very clear to you. Then if please everything is clear, then give me CC in the chat box and like the stream. Thank you, students.